Hey guys, I thought it'd be cool today to have a look at a watch that I wear most often, which is this Sinn U50, a 500-meter water-resistant diving watch that is from Sinn, the German brand that's famous for highly technical tool watches. I want to go over a few reasons why I wear this particular watch most often, whether it be for my work as a watch journalist or doing everything else in my daily life. So the first reason why I wear this watch is because as a watch journalist, I take pictures of watches. When I visit watch brands, one of the pictures I always take is a wrist shot. And when I do a wrist shot, I normally have to take off my watch and I'll put it on the tray and then put on the watch that I'm there to see. There have actually been a few occasions when I've worn something a little bit more expensive, a little bit more precious. I've actually forgotten to take my watch after I was done and walked away. So on one occasion it was my Rolex Explorer 2, which is not the kind of thing that you should do. And that's part of the reason why I wear a watch that I suppose in some ways I can afford to lose. The Sinn U50 is by no means a cheap watch, but it's not that expensive and is somewhat replaceable if I were to misplace it. And it's also related to the reason why I decided to put this watch on this red strap. And that is because if it were taken away in a tray, I'm more likely to notice. And also for the fact that wearing this rubber strap is overall more comfortable, makes the wearing experience much easier because it's lighter. The second reason why I wear this watch often is because of the very compact dimensions. I've always liked the U1, which is the big brother to the U50, but I always found that watch a little bit too much for every day because it's kind of big. It's 44 millimeters in diameter. When you compare that to this one, which is 41 millimeters wide at the round of the bezel, and roughly 40 millimeters in footprint, it's just a totally different experience. This watch, basically, it disappears, and when I need the time, it's there. Another reason that helps this is because it's only 11.3 millimeters thick, which is pretty impressive for a 500-meter water-resistant diver. Compared to the U1, the only downside to the U50 is that your water resistance isn't 1,000 meters, but it's 500 meters for this watch, which, I mean, come on, 500 meters is plenty for any water-related activity that you want to do. When I see a pool, I just jump in when I have it on. I mean, I'm fully confident that this watch can handle it. It's a 500-meter water-resistant diver, right? The third reason why I like to wear this watch is because it's extremely legible. Now, I wrote an article about the Sinn U50 before, and one of the things I was keen to find out then was whether the lume was good enough. I had heard complaints about Sinn's luminescent material being not as good as those from other brands, and what I found with this watch is that it is true in a way that it doesn't shine as bright, but it does last very long. And what I've been able to find with this watch in particular, because of the design of the Lego block handset and the way that the black of the dial is so deep, which makes the contrast so nice, that I'm able to read this watch under almost all lighting conditions. This watch has never failed me, and I'm fully confident that when I need the time, it's there, waiting for me. The fourth reason why I like the Sinn U50 is kind of a silly reason, and basically an explanation of why I tend to choose watches with bezels. Now, I live in an apartment where I have to park my car every day, and I normally don't know which floor I end up parking on, depending on the time of day. And because of this, I use the diving bezel to mark the floor I park at. I decided to do this because there were a few occasions in which I had forgotten where I had parked my car the previous day, and then when I was going to look for my car in the morning, I spent a really long time trying to find it, and I thought there had to be a better solution. So I came up with this. So as an example, when I want to park my car on the third floor, I set my bezel this way, and I'm good to go. And because I've been doing this for some time, aside from using the bezel for measuring certain events, elapsed time, and so on, I use it when I park at other places as well, or in rare situations when I need to remember just one digit. I can only choose between 1 and 60, obviously. Now, the last reason why I like the Sinn U50, in particular this variation which is Tegimented, is because tegimentation is Sinn's way of saying that this watch is scratch resistant. Now, I've owned this watch for probably 2 years now, and I've knocked it against many things. I'm not really very careful. I even rammed this part of the bezel against the wall when I wasn't paying much attention. Because of this and all the things that survive, I'm not careful about this watch, and basically if you look very closely, there's no mark on it. Well, actually that's not true, because I'm quite curious as to why there is this particular scratch, which you can see here, that I managed to find on the case back. It's quite a curious thing. I don't know what made this scratch. It's quite long, it's not deep. It's only visible when the light is at certain angles, but I know it's there. And the only thing I can think of that might have caused it might have been the Tegimented bracelet, which is something that I don't wear anymore, not for this reason, but you know, something to keep in mind if you have a Tegimented watch head as well as the bracelet. And I find this a very useful feature and a very necessary feature for those who are anal about their watches. Whenever you buy a new watch, you tend not to look forward to this gradual process of their deterioration. When you live with a watch, you pick up scratches, you pick up dents, you pick up knocks, you know, no matter how hard you try to keep it looking nice and new and pristine. I know it's not a realistic expectation to have with most watches, but at least with a Tegimented Sinn, your watch will look much better than if it didn't have it. Tegimenting is a proprietary process by Sinn that gives the surface hardness level, which is much more than typical stainless steel, way above precious metals like gold or platinum. It performs so well that when I consider buying a Sinn watch, the first question I ask is if that watch is Tegimented. The Sinn U50 is also available in a non-Tegimented version, but then if this model has it, I don't really see the reason why you should deprive yourself if there is a scratch-resistant one that's available. I mean, if budget is a concern, then wait a little while, save a little bit more money, and just get the Tegimented version. I think that's the proper way to go about it. Now, obviously the Sinn U50 is a watch that I have come to appreciate, and the main reason why is it's become a functional part of my everyday. It's not that I don't wear other watches, but this is the watch that I default to when I don't really want to think about what watch I wear. If you want to find out more about the Sinn U50, check out my article about this watch. The link is in the description below. Aside from that, thank you very much and hope that you can check this watch out in your local authorized dealer. Thanks.